Alright, first up is Johanna, and I'm going to turn on the checkers to take a look at this. Let's just, one thing that's obvious to me is that because there's no checkers on the arms, that's going to be a problem. And if I right mouse click, go to UV shell, and select that shell, I can see the whole arm is just that one thing. So you'll want to put some, it looks like you've got a cut along the arm, but somehow it's not unfolding. Let's try Control U. Okay, well that's already better. I just did Control U and got that following result, which I can already see is better. And let's unfold that. I'm just using Control U. So that one didn't want to unfold for some reason. Oh, okay, I tried it again and it worked. Alright, and I would tend to scale those up as well because I can see the checkers look pretty big compared to the rest of the body. And I'll lay them out again after I've adjusted anything else I wanted to change. And similarly, his hand is concerning me. I'm just doing F. That sure looks like a strange layout, and I think what's hurting you is that it's connected there. So let's select an edge, say here. Whoops. There we go. And cut there. Yep, I can see there's a cut there now. And it see UV show. Let's see what we've got. Maybe we need one on the other side too, but let's do Control U. Come on, buddy. There. Well, that's a little better, but I'm a little surprised to see a couple fingers as part of that. So I would cut those as well. Right mouse click edge, double click there. I think there's Shift X will cut that. Is that right? Cut Shift X. It should be. Maybe I have to be on this window. Oh, that seemed to have done it. I probably have to be in that window. And this guy. Okay, that cuts all the way along there. I might just do this. Shift double click to here. Shift X. Okay. And then let's select those shells. This one and this one and this one. Control U. Really? Unfold. Is that considered? I guess that's considered unfolded. Alright. Maybe you could have left those fingers attached. I guess they're alright. Anyway. Where's that finger? That one looks funny to me. Let me. There. I just did Control U again and straightened that out. And I tend to scale that up a bit just because checkers look a little small. Where's that one? I guess that one's okay. Anyway, you're going to want to go through and check all this stuff. I don't know that I want to, look through everything. How are the feet? I thought I saw some. No, okay, on the front of the body. See, I would tend to put, rather than put the cuts down the center, I would tend to put the cuts along the sides because they're just less noticeable. So, edge, and then Shift double click here, and then I'll click on that Shift X. Okay, you can see that got thicker. And then on this side as well. Was it this one? Yeah. Shift Shift X. Okay. And then I'll sew up this one. So Shift S. Okay, it looked a little crazy right now, but let's grab those shells and is that just one big shell now? It should be two. I must not. Think that we need to cut along the shoulders as well then. Maybe this guy. Probably just here to here. Shift X and just that one. Shift X. Okay, let's try it now. Those UV shells. UV shell. Why is it not picking the shell? I don't know. That's kind of weird. I'm just going to grab the whole thing and lay it out again, or unfold it again. It's being weird about picking the shell, so sometimes I just like grab some UVs and control right mouse click and where is it? Shell. Actually, I'm gonna try it. Let's try laying this out again because it's gonna become a bit of a mess now. I'll modify. Where's layout? Let's just control L, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're all in there and we're laid out, and this has gone a little berserk. Oh, it's like it split it into a million shells. That's terrible. Don't know how that happened. Something's gone terribly wrong. Clearly this whole thing is sort of exploded. I don't know what I did. I'm just gonna hide a couple of these if I can. Just so I can easily select this thing that I've destroyed somehow, and then select these faces here, and I'll just do a quick planar project to kind of reunify that, and then put my cuts back in because I don't know what the heck happened here. It's very strange. Whoops. Gotta zoom in a little bit, maybe this will help. Okay. Shift double click here. Okay. Shift double click here and then Shift X to cut those. Alright, so I've got to cut up the side, and then maybe here to there, and cut that, Shift X, okay, and then okay, cut that. Alright, that looks better. And then I'll select those faces fold. Okay, now we're back in business. Let's show all. Alright, and then let's lay out again. Jeez, it's kind of going berserk on me. And what is this? That's somehow like separated off from the rest of it. I wonder if there's some issues with the model or something, because I'm getting some very bizarre results. That's very strange. It's really weird. It's really very strange. Kind of makes me want to take a step back and see if we need to clean up the mesh, because that shouldn't happen. Well, I did end up getting rid of some stuff, though there's something messed up with this. I'm going to open this up again. Let's try that again. Just do one thing at a time. Okay, that was fine. Edges with 0 length. Bases with 0 geometry area. Leave that off. Okay. So I don't know if that ended up cleaning anything up. Anyway, let's try that again. Let's sew those back together. I'm gonna hide this for the moment because I can't see what I'm doing on this. Wow, it doesn't really want to pick that edge. That is annoying. I should be able to shift double click here and have it pick that, but then it keeps picking more. And it's picked the whole front. Great. Well, I might do that anyways, because we're going to want to sew that up anyways. I mean, I'd almost just start over because of all this weird stuff that's happening. Anyway, let's try it again. Should probably try turning symmetry on too. Shift X to cut that. Okay. symmetry, and I'm just holding down W and across the x-axis. Okay, let's see if it picks this stuff symmetrically to save me some time. Nope. Jeez. Okay, it is picking both sides, that's good. Shift X, alright. So I finally have the cuts on the torso that I wanted. And this is really weird, this cut from the eye down to the mouth. I don't think I would normally do that. Yeah, and then there's this extra weird slices here. Sort of want to just do this over again. I don't know why those are all cut. Yeah, and all these weird things on the back. I think these are okay. Alright, and we have a cut around the ear, which is good. This thing down the arm. Shift X. Okay. It's starting to look a little better. Alright, let's try unfolding that. See if it goes berserk again. Oh, there's non-manifold geometry. Okay, let's just fix that. And we got an error. Great. Yeah, there's something messed up with the geometry on this. I think that's why I'm getting some odd results. I thought that cleanup thing I ran would have fixed that, but I guess maybe I didn't check that. Mesh cleanup. I had that checked on. Let's see what the results are. No items to clean up. It's weird that it says there's non-manifold geometry then. Is it calling that unfolded? Alright, let's see what it's looking like now. Kinda messed up. Yeah, I don't know why those are so small. Yeah, and some of these are really big. Oh, that's interesting. Those aren't split. Oh, but then it's split like an extra time here. Because it's also cut back there. That's going to make for some small little pieces. It's not liking doing the whole thing at once. It does seem a little better. So now I think I need to go just one at a time and scale these up until the checkers are about matched. And then, you know, and then lay it out again. That sure doesn't look... I guess the checkers are pretty even. I don't know why it's such an insanely weird shape. I guess I can't handle this whole big thing. Maybe do a cut around the lips or something. That seems a lot better. What's with the back now? It's a little better. There's some kind of weird stretching there. You might put another cut in there. So maybe just unfold one shell at a time and then adjust the scale to get everything to match. I think that's what is going to be necessary. I think this could use another cut because it's a pretty wacky unfold. Wow, it doesn't really want to select that whole thing. Still calling that one shell, which means I didn't manage to cut all the way around, but it sure looks like it was. There must be something weird here. There's something funny with the geometry here. It's like overlapping there. I think that's problematic. here too, it's like overlapping. I don't know, clearly to me that looks like two different shells. I don't really see where it's not. Maybe it's just picking them both because of the symmetry zone. Oh yeah. They are two different shells. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's looking better. Alright, well that was sort of long and painful, sorry. Now they're all in one quadrant. The face is way too big. It's nice to have a higher resolution on the head anyways. Okay, well that's looking a little better. I still think some of these could be scaled up and down, but you just kind of got to go through them one by one. Let's save this. Okay, next up is Lena. So I'm kind of surprised how big that is. Let's turn off the checkers for a minute. So yeah, maybe you just want to, if they're not laying out nicely themselves, Control L. So maybe you want to just manually scale these up till the size of the checker about matches. That one's okay. That one needs to be scaled up. I'm just hitting F to frame selected, roughly matching those. Okay, and then select them, Control L to lay out again. Okay, that looks better. These look alright. These look pretty even. Those look a little stretched. And, you know, you might as well, if this is just going to have its own material, you might as well. Oh, is that even laid out? I don't even think that one's been cut and laid out. Yeah, there's no cut on there. That's not going to work. And fold that, yeah, and then lay it out. I mean, I would straighten this out, but there. So do that for both. And so on and so forth. This one, let me check the, that looks not laid out at all. There's overlapping things going on here. Let's unfold that again, see. Okay, that's already better. Control L to layout. That's not a very good layout, but let's see. It's a little better. I would go in and manually, you know, reposition these, because really, like, you know, mostly you want this thing to be, you know, a bit bigger, and you definitely want it straight. Control L. And then let's just check the distortion. Yeah, that's a little distorted on the nose. Can we see it? Yeah, you can see those are bigger, but it's not terrible. It looks okay. Okay, so I just think, some of this stuff you might want to, just go in and Control L for layout, get it a little better laid out, and then some you want to go and select shells and manually adjust. But it's not too far off. Next up is Vincent. Oh, we got a cube there. Okay. That looks pretty good. Check the distortion. It's not like, if it's like sort of evenly pink, I'm not too worried about it. Especially since the checkers look pretty good. So I think that's fine. Here though, the nose is concerning me. Look how stretched those checkers are on the nose. I think if we look at the distortion on that, we're going to see, yeah, look how bright red that is compared to how blue that is. So that is going to be a problem. And I think it's sort of just the nature of the way the nose is modeled. So let's start by trying to cut it off the face. Make sure my symmetry is on. Just held down W for that marking menu. Oh geez. Oops. Nope. Yeah, sometimes double click is just getting in my way more than not. I guess I kind of wanted to go more along this edge. A little less conspicuous place to cut. Shift X to cut. Okay, yep. I'm probably going to have to do another cut along the bottom, but let's see where this gets me. I'll do Control U to unfold. That did not seem to do anything. Let's just do it here just to make sure it's doing something. Yeah, that's strange. Let's see if this is considered a separate shell. It is. Just try unfolding just that. Alright, well, I think that it needs that another cut as the problem. And let's just I could try just going up to here. Shift X to cut that, and then get that whole shell. Okay, that's already a little better. See how it's split it up? I think it's going to have to be scaled up, but let's see where we're at now. With the checkers. Yeah, I think that's already, if you'll remember, it's better than it was before. Let's get this straightened out and scaled up. And just lay these out again. Control L. Okay, so see how that's not looking so stretched out now? I mean, yeah, you've got a seam along the bottom, but it's not a big deal. And let's compare. Now that looks really red, but I think that's, I don't know why that's looking red. Actually, to be honest with you, it shouldn't be. It looks fine to me. Because the checkers look fine, so I wouldn't worry about that. But anyway, I think that's going to help the nose. Okay, let's keep going. That looks good. I mean, a little pinkish along the bottom, but it doesn't look too alarming. Looks good. Yep, that looks good. Yep. 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 And this mask. Yep. Fine. Yeah. Yeah, you did a great job, really. It was just the nose was the only problem. Nice work. Next up is Katerina, and just spent a lot of time on this jacket, and I cannot, for the life of me, just gonna go polygon, shift right mouse click, polygon to display, backface culling, lighting, two-sided lighting, so I can see the inside of this thing. I cannot for the life of me figure out what is going on with these cuts here and how to get rid of them. There's something not right about the geometry, and I can't solve it. But independent of that, I'll show you more how I might approach the jacket as best I can. So there's so many cuts in here that I'll just start over with planar. And you can see when I do planar, it still has all those cuts in there, and no idea why, and I can't figure it out. Apart from just remodeling the whole collar over again. But let's try to cut this up. I'll just make sure symmetry's on. I'm just holding on W to get this marking menu across the x-axis. It is. Let's get a cut up the side. Let's get one on the, holding down shift on the shoulder there, and probably try to continue here. And oh yeah, there's already some. Okay, and I'll click over here, Shift X to make those cuts. Maybe one around the base of this. Looks like there's, well, maybe this right here. Shift X, okay. And let's do Control U to unfold, and Control L to layout. Now, if I do a quick look at the checkers, most of this looks fine. Where it went berserk is in here, but you probably won't see that much anyway. So what I would go is, just, oh, is it considering that one shell? That's weird. How could that possibly be one shell? Oh no, that's just because I have symmetry on. Let me turn that off. That's a little confusing. So yeah, I might just go in and straighten these out a bit, and reorganize some, and maybe see if you can cut off those bottom pieces. And now that this is looking a little bit more organized, let's try layout again. It's a little better. It seems a little packed down here. I think you could do a better job manually. Don't know what's going on there. So yeah, there's some really weird things with this model, and like I said, I couldn't really solve them. Apologies for that, but I still think at this point you're probably not going to see those problem areas, so you might be able to paint the texture fine anyway. I wouldn't worry about that being red. I don't think that's accurate. Let's take a look at the rest of the model. Oh my god, there's so many cuts on the head. There's way too many cuts on the head. Yeah, again, let's just start over here. And, you know, just kind of go more by, you know, the video, but select some of these edges. Maybe something like that. Shift X. Maybe do the lips. Whoops. Shift X. And, oops, I didn't get. Is this not symmetrical? I don't know why I didn't do both sides. Do I have symmetry on still? Oh, I turned it off. Stupid. Get around the ears. Shift X. Okay. Might have to do the nose. Let's see where we're at. Control U. Okay, Control L. Alright, just as a starting point. Yeah, I mean, I think you could put a little more time into this, but, you know, I would reorganize these shells, and I'd probably make this one bigger, you know, just so that it fits. Just because that's where you're going to want to do the most painting. And then lay these out again. Oh, why did it? Just make sure that's inside here. I don't know why. It looks like it's peeking out above, but I guess it's in there. So, yeah, I mean, you could do more than that, but that's more the idea. So, yeah, again, too many cuts. This is more like it. Probably too many cuts here. And yeah, so I would, I would, you know, do those again and just cut along sort of the seams and try laying it out again. Yeah, too many cuts. It's just a pocket. Should just be that whole front face. Should just be one solid thing. There's no reason you need all those cuts there. Just once again, I'll go back UV planar map and let's just isolate this so we can see what we're doing. Turn off the checkers for a minute. Looks like there's some overlapping faces there or something. Yeah, I can see some. That's not great. But anyway, I just picked around that edge and oh, there's already a cut there. Why is there a cut there? Oh, because it like loops back around on the inside. Oh, I see. Okay. Alright, Control Shift X. Oh, it's like... It's weird. Well, let's just try that. And then select those faces. Control U, Control L. It's not really what I expected to happen. I don't know why it's separated out that as like two things. Well, let's see what the checkers look like now. It's done a very strange job of it. what I might do with this actually, since it's being weird, is I might do a planar map, and then let's start with let's say, well, I don't know, X or something, UV, planar options, and then take this thing and whoops. There, click on that corner and maybe look at it from the top view and just get that more parallel to it. And scale that up a little bit. Like that, and then just use that planar map, because you're not gonna, that looks nice and even now, look at that, you're not gonna, the only issue with this is that the back is going to be the same as the front, but who cares, because you're not going to see the back, it's up against the coat. So I would just use that planar map that's been angled for that piece. I don't know why it's not showing the checkers now, but they're there. Okay. Yeah, so anyways, and just redo that in a similar fashion, fewer cuts, and say redo that in a similar fashion, fewer cuts. The hand, however, looks good. Okay, so yeah, just redo the pieces that have too many cuts and try again on that. Next up is Lindsay, and I guess what I'm noticing right off the bat is it's stretched beyond the quadrant 1 here. This looks like just a cylindrical map to me. So I think, and there's a lot, look at the stretching at the ear, see how much you're stretching here compared to that. Like these look very pinched, see how, you want these all to look square and about the even size, and there's some very pinched and some very stretched. So this really hasn't been cut up and unfolded at all yet, so you'll need to do that. Just just start over, planar map to get rid of any cuts, and then hold down W, symmetry, make sure that's on, and then put in all the cuts. I don't know if you want to watch me do it, but the topology is a little weird, so it's hard to know where to cut. But for example, you'll want to cut out the ears. Oh, is it not symmetrical? Because it's not. I want to check the symmetry on this. You might want to cut it in half again and make sure it's symmetrical, because it's not selecting all the same things, which usually means it's not symmetrical. And Shift X to cut that, so the ears are cut off now. And then you'll want to cut around the face somewhere. Oops, missed that one. It's along the top. Just using Shift X to cut. Okay. Oh, that's a very weird loop. Ooh, oh, that's not going to help that you have this whole bottom closed like that. But I guess we won't really see that anyway. but let's just try double clicking here, and oh yeah, that's a little better. And then I'll just deselect anything on the ear. And I've got that cut down the side now. Let's just check this side. Okay, Shift X. Okay, that should split off some of the front, maybe one along the bottom of the chin. Whoa, that is a crazy loop. Yeah, the topology on this head is got some weird stuff going on. Yeah, look, see how it's not doing the same on both sides. Don't want to double click there. So that looks a little... Oh yeah, clearly. So look, I can clearly see there's this weird thing on this side, and that's not on this side. So actually, I need to take a step back, because before trying to even do this, we really need to... You know, the other thing is you smooth this. Just look up your history. Where's the smooth here? I'm going to reopen the file because we need to take a few steps back here. You smooth this when you shouldn't have. So let's put that to 0. Yeah, 2. Smooth face. Okay, thank you. It's going to be so much easier to work with now. Okay. Jeez, it was so dense. There was no reason for it to be that dense. You don't just smooth it for the sake of smoothing it, because you can just hit 3 and you'll get about the same shape. So now we have something that's going to be easier to work with, and there's also some obvious problems. So like these faces with, you know, this is I don't know how many side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like it's like a 10-sided face or something there. So I might go, so first let's make sure this is symmetrical. Oh, is there not a line down the middle? Well, oh yeah, there is. Wait, no, there's not. So here there's no line down the middle, which is going to make it hard to make symmetrical, but you have it terminating here. So here's another many-sided face. So I'm going to do Control-Shift-X to get the multi-cut tool, and let's turn off symmetry for the moment. I'm just holding out Control and Shift to get that in the middle. And there. And then hook these up just to get the cut down the middle, so we can split this in half, so we can make it symmetrical, and then we can clean it up, and then you can do the UV mapping. And so yeah, you've got this down here, but that's not really doing anything for you. Shift right mouse click, polygon display, backface going on. Wait, went off, sorry. There we go. And I'll put lighting, two-sided lighting, so I can see the inside. Okay. I mean, do we need that bottom part? Do we see that? I don't think we're even going to see that. We're definitely not going to see that, so there's no reason to have that on there. Okay, so now we can go back, and there's still some... Didn't get this Control-Shift-X for the multi-cut tool. let's go front and just delete off one side. Okay, and then let's grab this inside edge and Control F9, convert that to verts. You'll also want to fix your mouth cavity so that that's opened up. But let's cut these to 0. So let's just make sure we're absolute here and 0 in the X. Okay, that should move those in the center. Let's just double check. Eyeball looks like a straight line. Good. Object. Let's delete history now. Shift right mouse click. Mirror options. Combine with original. Merge border vertices. Let's just try automatic. See how it, oh, terrible. Okay. That was bad. Is there some, oh yeah, what's going on? Oh geez, what is that? Oh, that's his hair. Okay, let's leave that for now. Is this not centered on the grid? Why is the grid not showing up? There we go. No, it seems to be, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Let's put the pivot point. I'm going to hold down D and X, snap that to the middle there. See if the mirror works now. Okay, that's better. So isolate this. See if it makes sure it didn't do any weird merging. Oh, it did do a weird merging there. So I'll just do this the kind of old manual way. Control D, -1 across the X axis. Mesh combine. Let's just isolate this. Oh. I thought I must have, oh, I know what happened. Yeah, when I selected along the edge, my bad. It selected, so what I did was, when I selected that edge, I had these bottom ones as well, but I don't want those. So that's why, and then when I did Control F9 and I put them to the center, those all went to the center, so my bad. Okay, we don't want those in the center. Okay, and now where's the pivot point? Let's get that in the center. DX. See if mirror works now. Oh, see, it's doing that weird thing on the bottom, so I'll just do it manually. Control D, scale -1x, shift select, mesh combine. Select the verts along the center line. Well, actually, I'll just select them all. Shift right mouse click, merge vertices, merge options, point just 0, 0, 1, just to make sure. So that should be okay. You can check by trying to select like where you might think there's a pair, like here, and make sure there's only one. Yeah, okay, it should be fine. Also, smoothing it usually shows that stuff. Okay, so now this is symmetrical. Yay. Actually, you should go fix the inside of the mouth as well. Go ahead and delete history off of this. Now we can clean up the model because you've got all these faces with too many edges. So you could, boy oh boy, you could manually do it, which would really be the right way to do it. But you've also got these very stretched areas like here, which aren't so great either. Like these, see these really stretched faces here. So I would go in and work on that, you know, maybe adding a loop in. I'll make sure symmetry's on. And then I'm just going to use a shortcut because it's going to take too much time to manually find and fix all these faces. We'll just do mesh cleanup and faces with more than 4 sides. I'll tessellate. God, I wish it just. I hate the way it does it because it does all these triangles instead of quads. Because what you really want to do is you can't just terminate these things like this. If you want to terminate those, what you got to do is like, I'll get the target weld thing here, and like if you want to terminate that there, you could, you know, bring those together and then delete this edge, shift right mouse click, delete edge, and see that's now, this is now a 4-sided face. And then maybe you want to adjust the topology a little bit, you know, spread things out here, and you can spread that out there and start evening this out. But right now it's a mess because all these, you know, all these faces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-sided face, 5-sided face, 5-sided face, you know, the way you've done this, where it doesn't populate to the rest of the head. So again, here and here. So I'm just gonna leave that for now. But so you really need to get this cleaned up to the point where you can even cut it up before you start doing the UV layouts. And don't smooth the stuff. There's no reason for it. Unless you like really need it to add the details. Same thing here. No reason for it. Because look, same thing. If these were smooth, and we don't have them anymore anyways. But I'm guessing they were. So it's not easy to back up now. Yeah, these don't look like they were laid out at all. This doesn't look like it was cut up and laid out at all. No, I guess there's a cut. It just looks like a... Oh yeah, I can see right there. It's a cylindrical projection. So you need to kind of follow the videos and put in some logical cuts and then use the layout thing. And because look at the checkers, they're all stretched out. And also it doesn't fit into one quadrant. And also it has overlapping UVs. So on a lot of levels, this is not looking too good. So that one looks better. But again, it's not all in one quadrant, so you can't really paint on it. And I know, you know, you might be using this sort of repeating procedural texture, but what if you want to actually paint in like scratches or anything like that? You won't have that option because you have all these overlapping UVs. So I would try to get everything laid out in one quadrant. Don't just use the cylindrical mapping, actually put cuts in there, actually use the UV layout, you know, the unfold, and then the layout and all that stuff. Okay, so yeah, as you mentioned, you have the old model here, and I mean, I can see you've done some UV layout stuff, but as I mentioned last time, this isn't really usable. And you're saying you're following the stuff step by step, but clearly this is not how the face was built in the tutorial. So yeah, so this model isn't usable at this point. And what I would suggest is I can send you the stock model so you can move forward with that. I guess really the only question at this point is, do you want, you know, the stock model with the UVs already laid out, or do you want a chance to kind of redo the UV assignment with a working model? And so I can give it to you with or without the UVs. It's just a question if you want to redo this particular assignment, the UV layout assignment, or not. So just message me and let me know. Thanks. Next up is Andrea Shen. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. Model improvements are looking pretty good for the most part. Let's take a look at the UVs. Okay, oh, that's one continuous model. Let's just isolate that so see it. Yeah, the checkers look pretty even, and you have some extra room for the face, which is good. So that looks good. And this is looking good. I mean, I would say that you might want to even out these guys, because just to get, because if you use sort of if you were to use like a fabric texture or something, you'd want it to have the same scale at, whoops. Oh, why is it not picking the whole shell? That is weird. Oh, maybe it's some weird symmetry thing. Let me turn that off. That's the problem. It was symmetry. My bad. So, see how I've got the checkers more even now? And that way, if you had one kind of texture across them, let me just lay this out again. Yeah, that looks more even. That helped. We checked that already. The hair, I don't know, I wouldn't think you need quite as many cuts on this. Like, I wouldn't think you would need all these cuts. Let me just try to sew those back together. Move and sew. And then unfold these again, Control U, and then lay them out again. It's kind of an awkward layout, but yeah, see, it's, I mean, maybe there's a little bit of stretching, but I think you'll be better off. So I would go in and kind of manually adjust this so it's a nicer layout, but I think you're right to kind of have cut it along this edge, but I don't think you needed those stripes there. And this one looks good. I would see if you could lose this one down the front, if possible. And you might want to shape this a little bit better. It looks kind of an awkward shape. Like, I might see if you could pull these back a little bit, because it looked a little, I don't know, awkward in the front. So I don't know if we can get rid of this whole edge, but I'm curious to see. And looks like we might have a problem down here, but let's just see. Unfold, Control L, layout. Yeah, see, I think you're fine with that, without that cut down the front. That looks good. So yeah, lose that cut down the front. And then the boots. Yeah, maybe a few too many cuts here, I think. Like, at least, like, I would think we could at least get rid of this one and this one, maybe. Let's see. Maybe that, although I'm a little concerned what's going to happen down here, but let's, why is it not letting me pick this edge? Okay, and let's Control U, unfold, Control L, layout, and see where we're at. I mean, there is some stretching there, but kind of feeling like you're getting away with it. I mean, yeah, I think you can get away with that. So see if you can lose some cuts in there as well. That looks fine. Okay, so yeah, a few areas where you could probably lose some cuts, and we showed you some stuff on the shirt, but otherwise, next up is Yao Nan. Yeah, at a quick glance, this looks good. Not seeing any obvious problems. Looks like pretty even checkers everywhere. We can double check, see what the color feedback is telling us. Slight concern around here. Let's take a look at the checkers again. But to my eye, that looks alright. Yeah, that looks like that'll work. I think you've done a good job. I don't really see anything to fix. Maybe there's some issues around some stretching along that edge. You might notice a bit along here. I don't know. Let me just try to unfold it again. No. Well, actually, that did seem to... I think that did help. Yeah, I just selected the shell and unfolded again, and those don't look as stretched along the side. Just make sure these are all fitting in here again. In the quadrant, yeah. I don't know if I messed up your layout now, but I think that helped a little bit with those edges. So yeah, maybe just a little unfold there, but overall this looks good. Okay, next up is Shane. Okay, I can see some issue on the forearms here. Let's see, where is that shell? Two little shells that are, I don't even see where those are. They're like tiny. Let's just Control U, unfold those again. Yeah, look how tiny that is. It's like a tiny dot. Crazy. Don't know why that happened, but just manually adjust that, you know, till it matches. Same thing here. And then you'll have to lay these out again. Control L. Okay. Yeah, and then just repeat, you know, with this, and then this one might scale that down a little bit just to kind of try and match the checkers a bit. And then lay those out again. Same with that one. Okay, let's take a look at the pants. Well, those look good. Actually, it's a nice, neat UV layout too. That looks good. Boots. Ooh, some stretchy looking stuff going on here. Though the cuts look okay. Let's see what happens if we unfold again. No, again, that's not doing anything. Now, I think maybe this wants another cut or something because of the way it's not really unfolding very well. So maybe just following that seam on the leg, something like that. Oh, I see. I'll just go all the way to the bottom. Shift X. And then I guess I should mirror that on the other side. Oh, okay, it's there is something on the other side here. But let's continue that there. Shift X, and then let's select these and unfold again. That didn't do much of anything. Is it really unfolding? seems like it is not doing anything. Even though I put another cut in, usually you'd see. Let's see if it's calling that a separate shell. Yeah, it is. Nothing. Weird. Maybe that's not the right place to cut. Maybe you want to cut along. I'm just going to try to undo back before I did that. What if we did along here instead? See how that does. I have a feeling that might work better. That seems to have helped some. There's still some stretchy stuff going on here. UV shell. It's getting them more square shaped. I think that's a little better than these kind of stretched out diagonal looking things. They're looking a little more square. So yeah, you might have to do some manual adjustments in there to get that looking a little better. What else? Yeah, we said that was okay. How's the face? Pretty good. A little concerned about this lip area. Let's sort of double check that in the color feedback. Yeah. Some slight issues maybe. I think, yeah, let's try cutting out the lips. A little bigger. Maybe there. Shift X. Control U. And then Control L. And then grab this shell and still kind of some distortion there. So maybe they need a cut the sides too on the lips. No, I don't want all those. Just isolate this shell. I might open up that mouth cavity too, but maybe we need to split this along the side. Just check that it didn't select along the whole thing. It did. Oh, see, I'm deselecting stuff that I wanted. Okay, that's better. Just deselecting those. Okay. Let's see what happens if I cut those. Shift X and grab these and unfold again. And then layout again. Any better? Yeah, I think maybe better. Less distorted there. I think so. Okay, other than that, I think you're doing fine. Good work on this. Next up is Ariana, and still think these boots could be a little less blocky. Get a little more shape to them. these spherical eyes? Yes, good. Yeah, the face is looking a little funny, maybe. But let's just, oh, and the hair's asymmetrical. Is that on purpose, maybe? I don't know. Let's take a look at the UV map. Whoa. That doesn't look like it's been UV'd at all. So you need to do the hand. Did this other hand get done? No. Okay, so UV the hands. That looks good. Looks nicely laid out. Pants look good. The boots, as I said, could use a little bit more shape to them first, and then here you got a little stretching going on here, and definitely on the bottom. Not that we'll see the bottom that much, but there's some stretching and distortion there. So I might say put another couple cuts in here, you know, at least one like at the edge of the sole, you know, like here. I would do a cut there. Shift X. And then let's lay these out, unfold these again. Control U and Control L. Looks maybe a little better. I think there's still some distortion, so let's try another cut around and Shift X and select these. Control U for unfold and Control L for layout. Okay, yeah, that's getting better, right? Maybe get in there, maybe do some manual adjustments because they do look stretched still. So I might take this and, you know, scale that like so, but then I'll need to, just to make them more square. And same here. But then I'll need to lay them out again. Starting to look even. I think, and then again these shell. Whoops. UV shell. Maybe just rotate that around to make it easier to see what's going on, and then yeah, and lay these out again. Yeah, it's starting to be better. Anyway, so just go through and try and fix those shells so that the top of that got distorted. Some of that I imagine might be when you kind of adjust the model, and so it's not just such a blocky shape. You might end up with better results on that UV layout, but I guess we'll see. So yeah, I would do a little bit of time on the model of the boots just so they're not such big blocks, and then fix the layouts. But and then the hands, of course, as I mentioned. See the face. Oh, that doesn't look like it's been laid out at all either. I wonder if something happened, like some, I don't know. Oh gosh, and then there's all these, there's like each one of these faces is, so this doesn't look, like the cuts up here look okay, but I, actually no, not really, because you don't want to cut down the center of the face, so I think you need to redo the whole head UV layout. Because each face is like cut out on each of those. Yeah, they're all white. So yeah, work on that again. Just like I've demonstrated before, cut around the face, cut around the ears, you know, around the top, around the chin and neck, and unfold and see how that works. Next up is Sharon, and you mentioned in your post that you wanted to do some fixes on the model before moving forward, and I guess I would say, you know, now's the time to do it if you're going to do it. And all the history there, I'm just going to delete that history just because. So this is one solid model. These aren't separate pieces. Is that? I'm just going to double check by going separate. Yep, just one big piece. Okay, that's interesting. I thought maybe the shirt would be a separate piece, but I guess that's... Turn off checkers for a second. Oh yeah. Okay, interesting. So yeah, there's some real unevenness here. Let's try to just unfold again. See if we get better results. Boy, are we not getting good results from that unfold. Let's see what happens if we... Because look how different the size of the checkers are here. Just try one shell at a time. Is that doing any different? No, it's not. I think, let's see what happens if we cut off the top of this. And then unfold again. Okay, there's still some crazy distortion here. I think that you have to split this somewhere. We could try just splitting the bottom half. And see if that's sufficient. Shift X and then Control U. Okay, it's better, but that's not gonna do it. Let's go all the way up. Shift X. Whoops. I think I had the faces selected when I did that. There we go. I just undid it because otherwise it would have screwed up the whole thing. Okay. Control U. Not enough. Part of it is just, I think the surface itself gets real kind of stretched there, like how big the uneven topology of the face is. But usually I would think we would get a bit of a better unfold than that from this kind of a piece. Maybe let's go around the breast here. Something like that, although you already have this cut here. So I might lose those two and keep, just follow along that, but then cut the rest of the way around. Oh, I feel like I've doubled up there. Okay, that goes up to the top there. Just turn off the checkers right now because they're a little distracting. Okay. Somewhere it has to meet. Oh, this is a bit hairy in here. This little situation, but I'll just complete it there for now. Shift X. Control U. I don't think it's going to be any better. Is it getting any better? Jeez. Really thought like that a piece like that should unfold okay. I'm a bit surprised. Maybe another one around there. Maybe that's where the problem is. Whoops. Haha. I think that helped it. I think it didn't like having to do that cap in the same, because actually you might even be able to sew this one up now. Move and sew. And then lay it out, unfold it again.
not so great, this shell. Can we manually do that better? Yeah, really distorted there. Not too sure why. I would think I'd be able to handle that. Huh. Well. Yeah, look at that. Jeez. Control U. Still terribly distorted. Like, something's funny with that particular piece. You know, when you get these kind of weird problems, I might take something like these two and do a planar map, UV, planar, and then that would just be Z from the front. And then just, you know, scale that back down in here. Why is that not scaling? I don't. Two UVs. Why is that not scaling? Is it moving? No, is this what you were talking about with stuff getting locked? Huh. Let's see what happens if we just lay it out. Still way too big. That's very strange. Never seen that before. Well, it did fix the problem, but for some reason it's not scaling now. Sorry about that. I figured that out. I don't really use this. It was they were pinned, so I just did unpin all, and I can scale again. So get that. So I think that's going to work better than just using the unfold. In this case, for some reason, unfold was unhappy. Okay, so what else? This appears to be scaled sort of enormously. That looks a little better, so we might have to manually do some of that stuff. And yeah, you probably should have had mirror on for those other things. And another one that's, yeah, it's just tiny here. So if it's not laying it out, you know, well, automatically you'll have to adjust that, and then you can pick all these and lay it out again. And anyways, and you might just have to go shell by shell there, because it seems like having this. What if I just unfold it again now that it's been unpinned? Is that better? Oh yeah, that's better. Okay, except over here where it's not. So yeah, you might have to do some manual adjustment of all these. I don't know what the heck happened. But then yeah, once you get them close, you can lay out again. Control L, get them to fit in there, etc., etc. So you might have to go shell by shell and adjust the size there. Alright, so yeah, just, oh, the hand does not appear to be cut up at all, so you need to cut at the base of each of the fingers and then kind of fillet the hand along the side as well. believe I demonstrated that in the video. And these same thing, these need to be cut up, cut around each toe, and then kind of cut around the base of it and see where you get there. Okay, so yeah, some more work to do on that.